friends. It's my favorite greeting. Hello, friends. You're all my friends. We are sorry that we have not filmed a whole lot in the past couple of days. We've been having a chilled weekend, as they call it. Now, I am going over to Bertle's yard to meet with Roger about assistant directing stuff, which is super exciting, and I'll tell you about later. Austin is gonna go to Tesco to get some more double cream, as they call it here.
Yes.
And I will keep you posted on my progress. I may stay out, I may not. It depends on if I need to come home and do some more prep work for this assistant directing gig. So stay tuned. This is the Bertle's Yard Theater. It is flipping outrageous and amazing. Look at this. It's like a dome, and there are 2 more rooms like this without the stage set up, but it is beautiful. Look at this floor. Oh, love it. We're going to put my posters up on the wall. So you see we've put up our art, and over here we have the Duntley family calendar. All of this we did with tack, or you know, whatever the equivalent version of it is, so we don't have to worry about damaging the walls or anything. I wanted to show you guys my little desk setup here. So it's quite lovely. We have these little bins where in this back one I have mostly important documents. There's also my mindfulness stuff in there and some arts and crafts that I plan to work on at some point. And then in this front one, we have a little important document folder. This is where I'm keeping all my pens and pencils and my markers. And then this book called The Wild Unknown Journal. I really like this because I'll show you a little bit of it. It lets you kind of color things your own way. Let me find, oh, okay, so I did that one. Let's see, one of my favorites is this one. And so the page just gives you a little prompt, like it says build, and you do what you want with it. So this is a great little journal, and that's what the markers are for. I've organized everything over here, so we have backpacks, we have our Tesco and Sainsbury bags under the desk, we have our little random tote here, and then over here I'll show you a little bit of what I've been working on. The reason I have 3 copies of the Duchess of Malfi on my desk is because I have agreed to be the assistant director for the production of the Duchess of Malfi. So the students who will be performing in that are 3rd-year BA students, and if you're not from the UK, you obviously don't understand how the system works. So it is like an undergrad degree, but it's 3 years, and these students are focused specifically on acting and nothing else. So this is their 3rd year, the year where they start actually doing productions. My plan for the rest of this evening and tomorrow morning is to do as much research as I can on the Duchess of Malfi, because I will be meeting the director and having a little chat, and then I will be attending the casting session. So I've already been added to the Google Doc that has all the production info on it, which is great. And it was kind of funny how it came about because Roger, kind of the program leader of my course, suggested that I do this and recommended that I go and talk to Carrie, who is the producer of Bath Spa Productions, and that's Bath Spa University's production company. And I went and talked to her about it, and she was kind of totally on board. I'm really excited for this opportunity. I think it will be challenging. It's a 3-week intensive rehearsal process. So from, I believe, 9 to 6 every day, starting on October 14th, I will be in rehearsals essentially all day long. I assume there's at least a half an hour break for lunch, but that's what it's gonna look like. Luckily for me, the Oldfield Park Theater Workshop is actually the closest of the 3 areas that I have needed to go so far for my studies. The campus is about a 15-minute bus trip away. Bertle's Yard, which is where I recently was tonight, and I'll tell you more about that in a minute, is 25-30 minutes by bus. The bus trip itself is really probably only 25, but there's some walking involved too. And then Oldfield Park, I can actually walk to in 15 minutes. So that's really ideal. I can, you know, get up, get dressed, have some breakfast, and then walk to rehearsals every day and walk home, so I won't necessarily have to pay for a bus pass if I don't want it. I certainly won't need to take the bus unless it's raining or equally disgusting in another way outside. I probably won't be able to show you guys a lot during the rehearsal process just because that's not part of what I've agreed to. My role there is to be learning and not documenting things. I'm not just an actor who, when I'm off stage, I don't really have a whole lot to do. It's not to say that the actors aren't doing things off stage, but you know, I've seen other vloggers bring their cameras into rehearsals and things with permission for official productions, but this is a student production, and I really want to respect the students' privacy, and I obviously want to behave like the professional that I am, so I'm probably not going to bring the camera into the room unless I get there really early just to show you what things look like. If there's nobody else in there, there's not really an issue with me filming. You'll just be seeing some tape on the floor. So anyway, that will be the rest of my evening, is drinking a cuppa and learning some more about the Duchess of Malfi. Good morning. I am currently making my way up to Oldfield Park for a day of design meetings, and I'll tell you more about all of that later today. So before Ricky gets here, and I apologize for the fluorescent flicker here, but this is the rehearsal room. It's got this little door here, door over here, air con because it gets quite warm, and then all our stuff set up over here. So it's a nice little space, and it's kind of a dance floor. I wanted to show you guys this lovely St. James Cemetery. It's beautiful. So what did I do today? Well, I went to Oldfield Park and we sat in on some design presentations, which were interesting because the designers hadn't received a brief from the director, which is fairly typical, is that you have some kind of place you're going before you actually start work on coming up with your design. So we did that, and then we had set design or scenic design, depending on how you want to say it. We had light design and we had sound design. And then we went up into the rehearsal room with Ricky and kind of talked through what his vision was, looked at some of his photos that he had collected, and he talked through some of what he envisioned and why he had chosen the photos that he had chosen. And after that, we had a little brief meeting about accessibility for the show, and now I'm walking home. I was supposed to go, well, I could have gone to the workshop at campus, but I've slightly missed it, so I knew that was probably gonna happen. So instead, I'm gonna go home, and then I will join my cohort tonight at the University Theater, where we are seeing a dress rehearsal of a show whose name I can't remember. Dana wants to say hi to everybody. Come over here, Dana.
Hello, everybody.
Dana, what have we done today? Tell everybody what we did.
We sat in lectures.
That is true. And then Bev and I were late to the second lecture because we wanted to get food, and Bev's noodles took a long time. And then
you were told that you're not allowed to eat.
Yes, we were told that we're not allowed to eat, and we did it anyway.
Because I felt like you guys were gonna blow up my spot because I was eating a muffin.
You were doing it very discreetly, though. It was very discreet. It was kind of covered by the packaging, so it's okay. And then we listened to Roger tell us more specifically about our research stuff, and we have no idea what we're doing now. Hi, everybody. Good afternoon. I am sorry that we have not filmed in so long. I had a weekend full of, well, my Friday was spent editing a play, which I can tell you more about. And my Saturday and Sunday were spent dealing with some hormonal imbalance, which is typical for every woman. But as those of you who know me personally may know, I recently, about 2 months ago, had ovarian cyst surgery, and my hormones have not really been stable since. So I spent most of the weekend just lying down and resting. But now it's Monday and we're back and we're ready. Ooh, got something in my eye. Now it's Monday and we're back ready to do some stuff. So despite this beautiful lighting that's being created by the Canon G7X Mark II, it is actually quite dark out. You can't really tell. It looks pretty bright.
No, it looks like it's probably about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, but it is just about 7.
Did you want to go this way, that way? Okay. So I was telling them about shows we were gonna see, and then I didn't finish. So what have we seen that start with last week?
So the first thing we saw was The Last Hurrah, which was a devised play by students and alumni of Bath Spa University. They were all students when it was beginning to be devised, and now a few of them are alumni. And then we saw, I wouldn't classify it as a play, I would classify it as performance art.
Yep.
Which was a PhD project being supervised by the director of our program, and that was called Dwelling, and it was not a commentary, but it was a piece on spectrality and hauntology, essentially how the past keeps an influence on the present.
Yep.
And memories and things like that, and ghosts, and it was very interesting for sure. And I got interviewed afterwards, actually.
Oh boy, I forgot about that.
Yeah. So that was very cool. Tell us about your experience.
I felt haunted.
I did feel genuinely moved, and I was like, genuinely, I didn't understand always what was going on.
Right.
I could make inferences, but I was like significantly moved at certain points, especially with all of the personal stuff I've been having going on. So it was like, oh.
They were two very, very different pieces for two very different evenings.
Yes, that's for sure. And they were back to back. It was Wednesday we saw Last Hurrah, and the next night we saw Dwelling. Very interesting.
Yeah. And Dwelling was set in a cemetery, and I wish we had spent a little more time in the cemetery because
hoping it was going to be outside.
Yeah, we all expected it to be outside, and it was not. We are currently on our way to the University Theater.
No, that building's been there all day.
Currently on our way to the University Theater for Bleak House
by David Glass.
And I don't think I know what we're walking into, but I think it's going to be different than the other two things that we've seen.
Give me your opinion on something. Do you like to look up what a play is about before you go to see it, or no?
I tend to not, because I like to be surprised.
Same. I don't want to go, unless it's like a period piece where the language is going to be particularly stylized. I don't really like to look up what a play is about, because I don't want to have any preconceived notions. I already have to do that when I'm going to see a play that I've read or a play that I know something about.
Yeah.
So I don't like to do it with plays that I don't know about.
Right.
I think that's why I liked Last Hurrah so much.
Yeah.
I just never knew what was coming next.
Yeah.
so funny to me. I think I was more moved by the dwellings, personally. Yeah, I can understand why that would be. I think they both moved me in separate ways. Yeah, because they're separate issues. Here's the theater. I'm gonna take you through the doors and then say goodbye because there are actual patrons here tonight and I don't want to bother them with my filming. Good evening. It is a few minutes past 12:30 in the morning. I'll tell you a little bit about what we did today. We did some independent work, and then we had what you in the US would probably call guest lecturers. But basically they're experts in their field, and they came in to talk to us about theater, acting, directing, all that kind of stuff. So we asked them some questions as an MA group. We did that little question and answer session, and then we had a little break for dinner, and then we went to see the show, which was Bleak House. And I feel like we all really enjoyed the show. I think part of it is that it was a professional production, and the previous two shows that we'd seen were not professional productions. They were, well, the first one was a professional production, but it was a dress rehearsal of the production. So obviously it's not going to be quite the same. And then the second one we went to was a PhD student's piece. So that wasn't truly a professional production in the same way. It is based on the Dickens novel, Bleak House. And so at the end it was quite sad. Oh, I haven't shown you. I'm repping my Bath Spa University sweatshirt. Obviously I'm in bed, so it's a little, you know, it's not the best view of it, but there you have it. I did buy a sweatshirt and it's really comfy. Overall, really enjoyed the performance. I'm really appreciating the ability to see all of these shows. It's been kind of hard having so many shows back to back because it means your whole evening is taken up, and whenever you go see a show, it's like anything. It's like watching a movie that you know is going to be taxing. If it's a sad movie, it takes up some of your emotional energy. So I'm looking forward to having a few nights free of that, but I'm also recognizing that it's really important for us to continue to go see theater and learn things and have opportunities like this to become inspired and, as everybody here likes to say, steal things, or if you want to go with the Britishism, nick things from other people that you like, because that's how you build your style. And that's how you discover what moves you to be creative. I think I'm gonna end this vlog here. Tomorrow, Austin and I are probably gonna head into town and do a little shopping. And then maybe on Wednesday, we'll go to the butcher that has the sausages that I really like. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you soon. Bye.